Hello all, welcome to Cloud Technologies. If you are visiting our channel for the first time, please subscribe our channel, like our videos and share our videos. If you have any doubts, comment out them in the comment section below of this video. So we are very happy to help you. So what is the motto of this video now? So in this video, we will see you already know Mulesoft has released a CloudHub 2.0 version, which is another deployment model. CloudHub 2.0 is released recently, maybe 9 months or 8 months back. Okay, right. So now let's see. We already everyone are familiar with the CloudHub 1.0 deployments. Either it is through Maven plugin or through Anypine Studio or through CI/CD pipeline or whatever the deployment method you are going to follow. But we are all familiar with CloudHub 1.0 till now. Now this is the latest one, CloudHub 2.0. Now slowly all the applications are going to create and going to use CloudHub 2.0 deployment strategy, or maybe few of the applications might be like migrating from 1.0 to 2.0. So in this situation, first we need to understand what is the major differences, what is the major difference and how it affects, like what is the main differences between CloudHub 1.0 and CloudHub 2.0, so that you will get better idea in order to work on any migration or in order to work on any new application deployments by using CloudHub 2.0 version. So let's try to cover a couple of the differences which we have in CloudHub 2.0 compared to CloudHub 1.0. Then it will be easy for you to work more on Mulesoft. Okay, so let's get started. So please watch this video till end. We will be going to cover most of the features. If anything missed, we will create another video, then we will follow up all the most of the features. Okay, so please watch this till end. Let's see. So main thing, CloudHub 1.0 2.0 we will be going to discuss in the runtime manager only, because we are going to deploy our applications in this feature only, right? So to do that, maybe let's create one sample application. Anypine Studio is also upgraded to new version 7.15. Please upgrade your version. It is having most of the new features compared to the old versions. So if you are new to this, just download the latest version. Even if you are existing user also, you can just try to play around with this new version of Anypine Studio. Okay, so yeah, maybe I can create this project later in the background. Don't want to waste your time. Let's observe the main differences first. Then I'll stop share screen. I'll create one sample application. Then we will try to deploy it, and we will observe the difference. Okay. So yeah, now this Flex Gateways is also new features. Private Spaces is also new features. This Private Spaces is specific to CloudHub 2.0. And Flex Gateways is also something related to CloudHub 2.0 and some other non-mule applications. Okay, so let's see. Let's try to click on deploy application here. As of now, this is the fresh account I have just created today, so I don't have any applications. And see. So this is the deployment target, and by default now it is selected CloudHub 2.0 for new applications. If you want to deploy it in new CloudHub 1.0, you need to select this one as we did for the other things. Okay, let me open this in another window to show you the difference between two different applications. Okay, let me close this. Yeah, so here it is selected as CloudHub 2.0. In this window it is CloudHub. So now let's compare these two tabs and let's understand the differences. Okay, see here the latest runtime is 4.4.0, that is for sure, and application name you need to it is CloudHub 1.0. If you don't see any version here, it is existing CloudHub 1.0. You can understand that. If you see shared space, it is showing CloudHub 2.0. So this is the new one. So I'm toggling screens from here and there, but I will explain everything so that it will be real-time experience for you to visualize these tabs. This will be easy for you to remember, right? So that is why I'm just comparing this in this way. So This is CloudHub 1.0. Here you need to give the unique application name. So the main major difference in the background is like you might be already aware of that this AnyPoint platform CloudHub is built on top of AWS instance. So in the background, if you work on anything in Mulesoft CloudHub, in this CloudHub is working in the background. I mean, in the background, AWS is working for this CloudHub. So if you deploy any application with any worker in one worker, what happens in the background in case of CloudHub 1.0 is one AWS EC2 instance is getting created. Let me EC2 instance means if you are not aware of AWS services, you don't need to worry. We are going to cover AWS series also soon so that you will get better understanding. But as of now, just remember AWS is a cloud platform. It has multiple services. So our Cloud Hub is also, Mulesoft Cloud Hub is also built on top of AWS only. Okay, let me just explain some kind of something. Yeah. Let's see. So this is 1.0, CloudHub 1.0. This is 2.0. Okay. Let's try to understand some couple of background concepts. Okay. So this is CloudHub 1.0. This is CloudHub 2.0. I hope this is visible for you. Yeah. Okay. 1.0, CloudHub 1.0, CloudHub 2.0. Now in the background, in case of CloudHub 1.0, what will happen is like in the background AWS EC2 instance, EC2 service is going to be created once you deploy your application in CloudHub 1.0 by using one worker. Okay. In case of 2.0, in the background AWS EKS cluster is going to be created, cluster service. This is the main difference in the background you need to remember. EC2 is one service of AWS, EKS is also one service of AWS. In case of 1.0, EC2 instance is getting created. This service is worked in the background for AWS for our Cloud Hub. And in case of 2.0, AWS EKS cluster is getting created in the background. Just remember this point at this time. Okay, don't go in depth of this EC2 and EKS right now. Just remember these two things. Now let's go back to our screen. Yeah, here if you can see in the CloudHub 1.0, this is called worker size. We are going to scale vertically, right? In CloudHub 1.0, this is called worker size. So this is called workers in CloudHub 1.0. This we are already aware of it. But in case of CloudHub 2.0, you can observe that this is replica size. Worker size is called as replica size in CloudHub 2.0. This is 1.0. Here it is worker size and workers. In case of 2.0, it is called replica size and replica count. Okay, now if you want to scale your application vertically in 2.0, you need to extend this vCourse in the replica size. If you want to create more workers, you need to increase the replica count in 2.0. So this is also major terminology change. I will try to provide this in a tabular format at the end of this video. I'll share it accordingly. Okay. So yeah, this is the main thing you need to remember. And one more thing, in CloudHub 1.0, we have workers vCore size like 0.1 vCore with 500 MB, 0.2 vCore with 1 GB memory, and then it jump to 1 vCore, 0.1, 0.2. Then no other splits will be there. Directly 1 vCore, 2 vCore, like that we have 16 vCores. For one application in CloudHub 1.0, we can give at most 16 vCores we can allocate. Okay, so this is the maximum we can give for one application in CloudHub 1.0. 16 V cores means 32 GB memory will be allocated. And if we can observe 0.1, 0.2, then directly 1 V core is there. So let's see this in 2.0. In 2.0, as we know, worker size is called replica size. Just observe here 0.1 V core, 0.2 V core, and another one is also there in between 0.2 to 1. 0.5 V core is also available now in CloudHub 2.0. So 0.1 V core means here 1.2 GB memory, but here 0.1 V core means just 500 MB memory. Just observe these differences. While deploying your application, you need to provide the worker size and worker here CloudHub 1.1 and 2.0 also you need to select the replica size. So just observe this. Here 0.1 V core means 1.2 GB in CloudHub 2.0. And like this you have at maximum only 4 V cores only you can allocate in CloudHub 2.0. 4 V cores means only 15 GB memory can be allocated to one application at a time. If you have that license, of course. Okay, for a free account it will not be allow you. You have to you need to acquire that license. Your organization will get that license. So at the maximum you can give 4 V cores with 15 GB memory in 2.0, but in 1.0 you can give 16 V cores with 32 GB memory. This is one more difference. Likewise, in workers, in case of CloudHub 1.0 we can give maximum how many workers we can allocate. As this is the trial account, it is not going to allow me to show. Your current subscription allows only one worker per one application. See, this is the warning I'm getting. But if I am not wrong, you can give 8 workers at the maximum. If you have licensed version, this is my trial account, right? So it is not allowing me. It is showing only your current subscription allows only one worker. If you have licensed version, maximum you can give 8 workers to one application and 16 V cores for one application in CloudHub 1.2. In case of CloudHub 2.0, we know we are calling this as a replica count, and here it is allowing us to show at least. Here also replica count is 8 replica count. It means 8 copy of applications will be created, 8 workers in case of 1.2, right? So just like that, replica count is 8. We can give maximum per one application. You can assign 8 replica count and here 4 V cores replica size. Okay, these two are the major differences you need to observe. Coming to object store v2, here we are going to use in 1.0 use object store v2 is there. Restart application when not responding. These are the options available in 2.0 also. Run in runtime cluster mode, use object store v2. Object store v2 is available in both CloudHub 1.0 and CloudHub 2.0. But the thing is like the persistent VM queues. See, if you can observe here, persistent queues option is there here. Okay, once you deploy your application, once you have the access, you can select this. But in case of CloudHub 2.0, persistent VM queues are not available. You need to use AnyPoint MQ. If you want to work on any reliability patterns or any other queuing mechanism patterns, you can use AnyPoint MQ in CloudHub 2.0. But in CloudHub 1.0 we have persistent VM queues. That is not there in 2.0. That is also one more difference. Okay, then if you can just go down, you will see the deployment model. In 2.0, CloudHub 2.0, we have two different deployment models, rolling update and recreate. But in case of CloudHub 1.0, you don't have that called deployment model. Only thing is you need to just select the application, you need to upload the, then you will have only deploy application. Okay, only one option is available. But in CloudHub 2.0, we have two deployment models, rolling update and recreate. So rolling update maintains the availability by incrementally updating the replicas. Rolling update means it's nothing but redeploying the application. Okay, so in both CloudHub 1.0 and 2.0 we have zero downtime. Rolling update means, just remember, it is like redeploying the application. Recreate means it is a new application, new deployment, fresh deployment. Okay, let me just select why it is not allowing me to. Yeah, recreate. See, recreate terminates the replicas before redeployment. Redeployment is quicker and does not require additional resources. So in case of existing applications also, you can select recreate sometimes, based on your requirement. Like if that application is not consumed more than another consumers, more number of consumers, then you can just select recreate. Recreate will be little faster compared to rolling update. Okay, so rolling update is for redeployment applications in general. Recreate is for creating new applications in general. But sometimes you can select recreate also for the existing applications to redeploy. It depends on if the application is not accessing by any other consumers, like that. It depends on your requirement. You can select both, even for existing applications also. And by default, this CloudHub 2.0, in the background, it is running in a cluster mode. It is supporting cluster functionality even in CloudHub deployment. But in CloudHub 1.0 we don't have that concept called cluster. That is for only on-premise hybrid deployments or RTF deployments. The cluster concept is not available for CloudHub 1.0. But in case of CloudHub 2.0, we can use cluster concept here. In the background, it is running in the cluster mode only. If you can select this applications, it requires at least 2 replicas. If you select 2 replicas here, if you can select this run in runtime cluster mode, then it will be running in the cluster functional cluster mode. Okay, once we deploy this application, and see, this is also one more difference. Okay, this is the ingress controller is there for CloudHub 2.0. But in case of CloudHub 1.0, there is no called ingress. Ingress is specific to load balancer. Okay, see, some features are disabled for application deployed public space. That's okay. So ingress controller is basically, it is used to create a dedicated load balancer. Okay, but in case of CloudHub 1.0, we are going to create a load balancer by using VPCs and all. That is different concept. But just remember, to create any load balancer or something, ingress controller is specific to that load balancer. And here you can observe we have 2 options: forward SSL session, last mile security. This is in CloudHub 2.0. So in case of, if you are going to use one-way SSL, you need to select last mile security. In case of two-way SSL, if you want to apply two-way SSL for your applications, you need to select forward SSL session. This is also one more feature available in CloudHub 2.0. Last mile security is for one-way SSL, forward SSL session is for two-way SSL. Right, and remaining is common, the properties, logging. This is just commonly available for both. But in case of logging, if you can see, one difference is there. You can select this. In case of CloudHub 2.0, you can select manually, like enable application logs. It will show you application logs also. Configure where the SOPs logs are sent. You can configure it like external logging features, tools also. This application logs enable feature is not there in CloudHub 1.0. By default, application logs also visible. Okay, you can just configure accordingly in your CloudHub 2.0. But if you can see, there is no static IP address tab is there here. It is another method in CloudHub 2.0 to assign any static IPs. We need to follow another method. We'll see that later in our upcoming tutorials. But in CloudHub 1.0, we can directly assign static IPs here. And the runtime, we already see. Properties, we have already seen. Okay, now let me just stop sharing. Let me create one simple application. Let's deploy in CloudHub 1.0 and 2.0 parallelly. Let's see the differences in case of URLs, application endpoint URLs. Let's observe the difference. Okay, Yeah, I have just created one simple application, just one listener and one data view, just to see the difference between the URLs. Okay, so you can deploy this by using Studio only. I mean, you can use by using Studio, or you can export this as a jar file and you can do the manual deployment also. Anything is fine. So I'm just checking. I'm just deploying through Studio. So Anypoint platform, deploy to CloudHub, and if you didn't add your Anypoint platform account, it will ask you to add your account here. Then you need to add that account, so I didn't cover that part. Okay, see in here it will show you. Let me maximize this. We have two different options. I mean, by using Anypoint Studio you can deploy in CloudHub 1.0 and 2.0 both. You can select anything. So let's deploy in CloudHub 1.0 first. I'm just adding ch1 at the end just to differentiate. Showing here. Okay, fine. Yeah, it's CloudHub 1.2 and 0.1 Vico, one worker. I'll just click on deploy application. This is for 1.2, deploying using Studio. Or else you can just export this as a jar file. That deployment method we already covered in our previous videos. You can follow the same, maybe. Yeah. Let's wait. Now you can close this window. In the same way, let's try to deploy this in CloudHub 2.0 so that we can see the differences in the browser itself directly. So click on deploy to CloudHub. The log system setting will go. That's okay. I don't know why this error is coming up. That's okay. Now this time let's change this name to CloudHub 2. I mean CH2. Just change that. I'm just selecting target as CloudHub 2.0. Okay. Now it is a 0.1 replica size and 1 replica count. Let's select recreate and deploy application. Application endpoints is also changed in CloudHub 1.1 and CloudHub 2.0. I just wanted to show that difference as well. Also, in 2.0 you no need to worry about unique name, because it will append some. I'll show you once the URL is getting generated. It will append some code at the end of your application name, so you no need to worry about unique application name, because internally it is working as an ingress load balancer. So let's see why it is running in the background. Maybe it is building the application. Let's go to this. Yeah, I selected dev environment. Let's go to the dev environment itself. So in CloudHub it is deploying. That is fine. Now we initiated CloudHub 2.0 deployment, right? Let's see. It is building in the background, it seems. Yeah, build success. Now it is showing this window. This is going to deploy right at. Okay, let's close this window here. Let's see. Once I selected CloudHub 2.2, okay, it is building. Maven is building that the package in the background. Once the package is built, then only it is allowing us to. It is showing that deployment screen. Now let's see. See, now I am into the browser itself. I have deployed the same application ch1 in CloudHub 1.2. It is deployed. It shows started. In CloudHub 2.0 also I have just deployed the same thing. I just changed the name and it is applying. It is not running. It is applying. Let's wait couple of minutes, maybe it is also getting deployed. See, the target type is CloudHub, which means CloudHub 1.0, CloudHub 2.0. Here the target name is CloudHub and here it is shared space. Meanwhile, if it is getting deployed, let's see another difference also. Okay, in CloudHub 1.0, if you want to deploy your application by using DLB, if you want to create in private one, you are going to create VPCs. Okay, VPC is, there are no VPCs to show. Okay, so this is the free account, right? So it will not allow you to create VPCs. Might be it is showing business group is 0. Okay, so in case of CloudHub 1.0, we are going to create virtual private cloud VPC here to deploy our application privately in our virtual private cloud. In case of CloudHub 2.0, it is a private spaces. We call it as a private spaces. See, CloudHub entitlements are now enforced. Okay, a private space is dedicated deployment target with its own network and ingress controller. Use a private space to access all the benefits of CloudHub 2.0. It is self-explanatory, right? So private space is specific to CloudHub 2.0 if you want to deploy your application in a private cloud. In case of 1.0, it is called as virtual private clouds. This is also one more major difference. Okay, so maybe we can create one private space. We will see in detail. Actually, in our next video we'll see the private network and create this virtual private spaces and all. We can see this in detail, but just wanted to give you some heads up. Okay, private spaces, if you want to see here, private network is there, connections, you can just create your private network and deploy your applications into your particular, your VPC, your specific VPC. I mean private network in case of 2.0, but in case of 1.0, we have to create virtual private cloud. Just remember these things as well. Now let's go back to runtime manager. Let's see if that is deployed. Yeah, I see. Now you can see it is running. It is not showing as started as the status because this is in the background. CloudHub 2.0 is working in the form of cluster. So in case of cluster or hybrid environments, you can observe this change. It is showing the server is running. Okay, now these two applications are deployed. I mean, one application is deployed, CloudHub 1.0 and 2.0. So now let's see the CloudHub 1.0. And again, let me just open this in another window. Let me click on application. Let me open 2.0. I mean, CloudHub 2.0 application now. Let's see the difference. See, in case of CloudHub 1.0, we know this is the domain URL, and once you go to settings, this is our application URL, app URL, endpoint URL. By using this, we can test our application. We have selected worker 0.1 worker size, 1 worker. In case of CloudHub 2.0, if you can observe, application status is showing running and it is adding one more tag like configuration, and this is the one you need to observe, HTTPS, and till here your application name is there till ch2. Then if you can observe, some code is getting added. This is the region USA E2 CloudHub region URL, but before that it is getting added, some text is getting added. Right, this is specific to the public endpoint. It is public endpoint of this particular API. Let's say our listener path, I didn't remember, testing ch1. Let's try to add this. See, now we can able to access this. Now because I have just added this text only in the data wheel. Okay, so by using this public URL of this CloudHub 2.0 application, you can access your application. Here the target is CloudHub US East 2, and here E2, this is the region US-E2 CloudHub.io. This is added as a domain URL for you in case of CloudHub 1.0. In case of CloudHub 2.0, it is deployed on shared space. Shared space is nothing but public cloud. cloud. In case of 2.0, shared space is called as public cloud. In case of CloudHub 1.0, by default it is a shared space only, shared DLB only. I mean shared load balancer only. Sorry to confuse. Okay, so if you didn't create any VPC, if you didn't do anything, you can just directly deploy into CloudHub by using CloudHub 1.0. It is deployed in shared load balancer by default. If you want to use your own dedicated load balancer, you need to create VPCs and all. That stuff we have already know. So in case of 2.0, if you didn't select anything, it is deployed in a shared space. It will give you the public URL, public endpoint. But if you want to create your own private network, as we have seen earlier, we need to create private spaces. So these are all the major differences in case of CloudHub 1.0 and CloudHub 2.0. Okay, I think this video is helpful for you. We have seen all the differences in practical way instead of going through all the slides and all text and all. We have observed this difference in a practical way. But I will try to put this information into a slide in a tabular format or something. I can just share it accordingly, or maybe I can just upload that in GitHub and I'll provide you access or something. Like something I can just try to work on this, because I didn't create any slides. I just wanted to provide you the updates in the real-time scenario by showing the real-time tabs and all, so that it will be very easy for you to remember all these differences. Otherwise, if you just follow only PPT, I think in my point of view that is little difficult to remember, right? So I hope this video is helpful for you all to understand the major differences between CloudHub 1.0 and 2.0. We have more differences, and we have a lot of changes in CloudHub 2.0. We have few more differences as well, like in case of logs, in CloudHub 1.0 we are unable to download the load balancer logs instead in case of if we created a dedicated load balancer. But in case of CloudHub 2.0, as we have seen here, it is showing ingress, right? So ingress controller is there for load balancer. We can able to download ingress logs also, like load balancer logs also you can download for tracing or analyze purpose. So this is also one more difference. So as I said, like we have covered major differences, but a few more differences might be there from 1.0 to 2.0. I'll try to capture them as well. I'll try to create one slide or something. I'll share it accordingly. Thank you so much for your patience to understand this video, because this video is little lengthy. Thank you for your patience, and thanks a lot for watching this video. Please share this to others and please subscribe to our channel for more videos. Thank you.